What's going on, everybody? Joshua Cook back with another edition of St. Pius Football with Greg Cranfill, the man, the myth, the legend, and it's playoff time in Texas. Playoff football begins this week for St. Pius X. The regular season is in the books. St. Pius X goes 5-5 on the 2021 season, 2-4 in district. They end on a great win over Beaumont Kelly, 28-14. Coach, we'll start with that. How big is it to go into the playoffs off back-to-back wins? Do you feel like a little momentum going into the playoffs now with those two road wins?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think it's unique in a situation. Anytime you're 5-5, obviously it's up and downs. But we had some opportunities throughout the course of the season to put a couple of wins back-to-back and then just didn't follow through on it. And this was the first time all year that we put back-to-back wins. And if you're going to do it, get hot going into the playoffs. And that's what we kind of told our guys going into the San Antonio Christian game. It's a brand new season. The slate is cleared. Let's move forward. And these guys have done a great job of responding, 1-2 in a row. Last week is a huge win. We ended up having 4 takeaways. Ethan McMinn had an interception. Carson Hintz had a caused fumble when we knocked the fire out of their back. And then Vincent Doucette had 2 interceptions on the way to a 28-14 win. So we felt like we were playing some good defense. Offensively, Beaumont Kelly did a great job against us, but our guys up front towed the line and ended up, doing the things that we needed to. And then Bryce had a great job. Bryce did a great job through the air. So we were very pleased and happy with the momentum that we have moving into the playoffs.
Could the momentum even be dated back to, and I know y'all lost the St. Thomas game. It was 37-14.
Right.
But late in that game, you have that touchdown pass, and then you have that weird field goal return for a touchdown. Yeah. But that 14-point swing there, do you feel like that maybe kind of lit a little bit of the fire? Because after that, it's now been back-to-back wins.
Right, and I think it's an interesting conversation because that's what the one thing that I told them coming off of the St. Thomas loss was that they showed us as coaches a lot about their character on how they were going to continue playing by the way they responded late in that game. And I think you're right. I mean, I think, you learn a bunch when you lose a football game. The most important thing you learn is about the character of your football team, and I think we knock it out of the park in that area with the guys that we have in this locker room. Kudos to their families on the way these kids are raised at their house, and the fact that the school does a great job as well as making these kids continue to do the things that are expected of them. And we're just happy with where we're at right now.
And where you're at is the playoffs for this year. You start on the road again. You go to Prestonwood Christian. It'll be a third straight road trip. And we talked about this. We talked about this a few weeks ago about you liking being on the road at the end of the season. It gets you ready for the playoffs. You have that. You've had that routine down now for 2 weeks.
That's right.
This is when we load the bus. This is when we lead. I mean, people think we're kind of crazy when we say like, high school kids are very much creatures of habit.
Oh, yeah.
But they are. So for the last 2 weeks, they've been creatures of habit of this is how we prepare for a road game, and now you get to do it for a third time up to Plano and Prestonwood Christian. Does it help a little bit just having – they know when the bus leaves. They know – you might have to leave a little earlier with Plano.
Right.
But they know the routine of the week and how to get ready.
Absolutely. And that's what you do. We talk about things all the time. Going back all the way to week 2 when we ended up driving up and playing Dallas Christian, we talk about situations like that we've been down this road before. We know what it feels like to get on a bus and drive up into the Metroplex and then play a football game. So nothing is out of the norm, playing that game early in the year. It was versus a very formidable opponent. That was going to put a challenge on us, and they did. You know what I mean? So we learned a bunch out of that game as the X's and O's of what we need to do football-wise, but also when it comes to traveling up to the Metroplex, that also will help us this week. Plano Prestonwood is they are an amazing football team. It all starts with their quarterback. He's a great leader and a heck of a gunslinger. Knows exactly where to put the ball and has very talented receivers. Defensively, they fly around to the ball and make plays. So we've got our hands full, but we feel like that we've done everything that we could possibly do up to this point to prepare ourselves to go up into Plano and give ourselves a chance to win a championship trophy.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, that's what it comes down to is now it is really win or go home. It's win, right. And you get a gold ball, you get to bring that back to St. Pius X. It's something that this football program hasn't had a playoff win since 2018. That was the last time. It's been kind of a up and down since then. Y'all like, I know y'all don't look at that at all, but I know the playoff win is something you want to check off and try to get it this week against Plano Prestonwood.
Right, and I think the reason it comes down to is because of the foundation that was laid by the group that we started with last year on rebuilding this thing, and then these seniors that are in this locker room, and then our community. To bring a championship ball back to them would mean the world to me as the head football coach because of what they've given to this program, what our head of schools, both Carmen and Daniel Martinez have given to this school and this community, what our high school principal has given to this community, and our amazing athletic director, Coach Jeff Feller, what they have given to allow us to do the things that we are doing in this program, and not just football, but every athletic program. I mean, there's a million thank yous in the world, and that's not enough. And it would be great for us to be able to go and give back to all those people that have done those things for us as a program.
Well, it is a Saturday afternoon game, so the good thing is everybody can fuel up the cars Saturday morning. The St. Pius X crew can hit the road and make it a loud road environment for your team, and I think that's an interesting thing too, because I mean, what people they don't look back as far as we do sometimes, but the year before you took over, St. Pius went 2-9 or 2-8, whatever the record was that year before, and then last year 4-4, and that was a weird COVID year where games got canceled and all that fun stuff, and then this year in 5-5, and I feel like maybe the good comparison to a football program being kind of rebuilt and stuff is kind of like the stock market, right? You watch it. It's going to go up a little, it's going to do this. It's going to go up, it's going to do this. And sometimes there's going to be a little dip, and it's going to go up. Is that a fair comparison that there's going to be ups and downs? But have you seen – I feel like this football program has done that gradual – just with everything. Like your program being installed, the X crew coming along. I just feel like it's doing this. Right. And maybe this week it goes like that.
And that's what we're hoping. We're hoping that buy at a low and then it goes high real quick, But in order – for us to build this the right way, I think you hit the nail on the head. That's our long-term goal, is to build something that sustains throughout time, as opposed to trying to quick fix everything and try to 1 year wonder it. We want to build a program here. When I took this job, we want to build a program that sustains through time. And when kids look at St. Pius, we want them to have the ability to say, this is something that's going to last. The way that they're building through an amazing school system and through the culture that we have set here through our football program, that parents and young kids say, you know what, I want to be a part of that. We feel like our sons will be better human beings because of being around the situation that St. Pius X creates. And that's where the victories come in. And you're right. We are seeing that gradual growth, from a 4-win season to a 5-win season. Obviously, everybody'd love to have the 15 and 16, and that's where we're building this thing. Absolutely, that's where we're building this thing. But we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it with the right people. And when we look back on this, we're going to say, we're proud of the legwork and the groundwork that we had to do. I'm proud of our JVs this year, our JV football team, who have struggled the last couple of years. And this year we won like 3 or 4 football games. And that's a big deal because in the past couple of years, they've won 0. So it just shows me that we're doing things the right way, and we're building this thing with good people, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's always the thing that's interesting about football programs is, or any sport in general, is especially when you look at football, people are always like, well, why is Katy always good? I think they just had 10 wins for the 20th straight year or something crazy like that. Why is North Shore so good? Well, it's a culture thing. It's down in the middle schools, and people don't realize like how big middle school football and JV football is, because that's your pipeline. That's what gets those kids ready, and you have to build those programs like that. Do you look at like how much emphasis did you make on that part of like the JV football part and the younger kids, and just making sure they stay at St. Pius, and then we develop them within? So a guy like a Carson Hintz that gets there as a freshman, he breaks the all-time tackle record as a senior.
Sure. I think it all starts with us as coaches. I mean, you know, we played 10 games with that JV group, and at the conclusion of our last game, our JV game, I told them, I said, I want you to take 10 seconds and just look at these coaches that are standing around you. Every one of those are the same varsity coaches that coach our St. Pius X varsity. They're down here because they're committed to building this program the right way. And we played teams throughout the year that the JV coaches, they'd send 2 coaches, or they'll send maybe 3 coaches to come over there with their JVs, but not St. Pius. And you go back and you look at all the schools that are doing it, and what our opinion is the right way. Those varsity coaches are down there right in the middle of those JV guys, not just there, you know, drinking sodas and you know, standing on the sideline. They're out there coaching their kids, because that's the foundation of what we're trying to build here. And I told them, I said that I just want you to go hug your coach's neck and tell him how much you love him, and tell them how much you appreciate them coaching you the exact same way as if you were the starting linebacker or the starting quarterback or the starting receiver for the varsity, because that's what we're going to do here. And that's what those guys, that's what they deserve. You know, they deserve the same process, the same mentality of where we're going with this thing as anybody, and that's what we try to give them. So I think that's kind of one of the biggest things that we do.
Well, they are building it up over at St. Pius X, from everything of decals with dads to muffins with moms to the X crew. Stock's growing. You got to buy now.
We got a new one Thursday, Josh. Playoff pizza with the parents. So it's happening. Ooh. So yeah, man. And it's just another
that one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just another way to say thank you to all the parents. You know, because I just want these kids to understand, and I want these kids to look back and think about all the times that they got from point A to point B, and just think about who was driving that vehicle. You know what I mean? Think about who's filling that vehicle up with gas for them to get there. Think about the sacrifices that those people make, those parents have made to allow them to have the opportunity to do what they're doing right now. And just another way to say thank you. We have amazing parents here, man. Amazing parents. And I just want them to enjoy this experience with their sons. And then I think that's the cool part about it.
Playoff pizza with the parents. I like it. And, you know, hey, if everything goes right on Saturday, you have back-to-back weeks of playoff pizza with the parents.
Heck, I'll buy pizza every week. You know what I mean? Let's keep this thing rolling, you know?
Are you like just a straight pepperoni guy? Or are you like the Supreme? What are we talking?
If you want to know the truth, every time that we've had pizza with our football team, this is how many pieces of pizza I've gotten. Because I always tell them, hey, if you want another piece, come back and get it before we get one. And it's wiped out every time. So I usually go home and Katie will make me something when I get home, you know. So she's like, I thought you had pizza. I'm like, nah, there wasn't any left, you know. So, but those are the things and the sacrifices that we do. You know what I mean? It's all about letting them enjoy this experience, and that's what our plan is this week.
Well, it'll be a fun week. St. Pius X on the road, playing Prestonwood Christian. That's who they take on this week in the playoffs, as they will play that game Saturday. Coach Cranfill, best of luck this week as your guys head into the playoffs this weekend. Enjoy. Maybe someone give Coach Cranfill pizza. Come on. Somebody, Carson Hens, I'm calling you out. Save Coach a piece of pizza.
Just one, man. All I need is just one. Yeah, I'll take one.
Doesn't even have to be the stuffed cheesy bread. one little slice. That's all we're asking.
Man. That's it, man.
All right, we're back every single Wednesday at noon here on VYPE. Appreciate Coach Cranfill and your time. Best of luck this week, Coach. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, brother. Go Panthers.